We're lucky enough to be in Bruce's backyard, and Bruce teaches at Waikato University. And Bruce, you've been doing a massive effort to restore this gully behind your house here since 1993. Can we go and have a look?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd be pleased to show you around.
Awesome, let's go. Amazing, Bruce. You've obviously worked really hard on the section. I can see so many different species, but where do you start a project like this?
Yeah, well, the first place you have to start is actually getting rid of the weeds. And the big weeds that we had to get rid of first was the tree grey willow. Grey willow used to completely cover the whole of this area, and then to start a program of planting pioneer trees.
So when you say pioneer trees, what do you mean?
I mean, they are naturally the ones that can colonise an open site, and a site where there is no current protection, where there's often difficulties with the soil, and you've got to start with the hardy trees and shrubs that can get the system started. Right, and then what do you do? After you've planted your pioneers, and I mean planted at quite high densities, many of them, not just a small number, because right. if you plant them too far apart, all that will happen is the weeds that you originally tried to control will all come flooding back in. So you plant them at high densities, and you try to establish a canopy cover, a crown, a continuous crown cover of the plants that you've planted, because then you gain control of the site. You suppress the weeds, and then you can think about what comes next.
And when you're choosing what to plant, you might have heard of eco-sourcing. Did you eco-source the seeds for this area?
Absolutely, because this is designed as a style of restoration, an ecological restoration, using native plants that originally were found in the district. We had to think very carefully about where we got our seed, where we got our plants, and we made sure that they are things that really truly belong here in a Hamilton Gully.
And in terms of maintaining the area, you can't just plant and then forget. What have you had to do?
You've got to do quite a lot of hard work. So, I mean, the biggest issue really is that most people like planting things, and they don't like doing the maintenance and aftercare. And maintenance and aftercare of what you've put in the ground is the most important part of a restoration process. So you've got to come back on a regular basis and release, that is, weed around the plants you've carefully planted and make sure that they're not being overwhelmed by invading weeds. And usually up until at least 5 to 7 years before you get full control of the site. And then you're really at that threshold where you can start thinking about what other really special things can I start adding to my plant community.
Awesome. Well, it's really neat to be able to share the work that you've done, the hard mahi that you've put in to create this area, and quite inspiring. So thank you so much for showing us. Kia ora, Bruce.
I better tell you one thing though, and that is that it wasn't just me.
Because
it takes a lot of people to do a piece of work like this.
True.
And of course my family has been really important in this. My wife Bev and the children at times were marshalled into helping, sometimes not necessarily that they wanted to, but they enjoyed coming down here anyway, because this is a great playground for children.
And seeing the results is just amazing.
Yeah.
Kia ora.